Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the best role-playing games ever made. What Warhorse Studios has been able to do here is incredible, taking everything that they learnt from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and building upon it, creating one of the most immersive and historically accurate games ever made. And I'm going to say it right now, if you enjoyed Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, you will love Kingdom Come 2. In my personal opinion, this blows KCD 1 out of the water. And in today's review, I wanted to talk about some of my favourite things. If there is anything missing here, I already mentioned it in my preview video, link in the description below. But let's get into this review. But first, I want to say a massive thank you to PlayOn UK for sponsoring this video. I know what you're about to say. No, all the opinions in this video are mine. If I didn't like something, I'd tell you. So this review is not biased. But without their support, I wouldn't have been able to buy the new PC that I'm using to make videos on this game. And that will allow me to make Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 content way into the future. So a massive thank you has to go out to PlayOn UK. Now I want to make it very clear, I am not going to be spoiling anything in this review. I will be showing gameplay from all around the game. And while some of the areas that you will see in this video are from later in the game, there are going to be zero story spoilers, so do not worry. So let's get that out of the way with first. At the end of Kingdom Come Deliverance, Henry and Hans travel off to Trotsky to hand a letter to von Berghoff, and that is exactly where this game picks up. And the adventure that Henry and Hans go on in this game is absolutely incredible. And that's it. You need to play it for yourself. Honestly, go and play this game for yourself and enjoy the story in your own time. But what I will say is that this story is on the level of Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I think, in my opinion, even better. And yes, that's even talking about the Father Godwin quest. There's a quest in this game that kind of tops that. And there are multiple quests that completely blew me away in terms of depth. So you're going to be in for a surprise. And when we're talking about the story of Kingdom Come Deliverance, we can't not talk about the performances. And at the front of that, of course, is the brilliant Tom McKay and Luke Dale playing Henry and Hans. And the performances here are amazing across the board. There is this real life to the characters. They have humor, they have emotion, and it feels like you're on this journey with friends. My only gripe is that the voice actor for Fritz from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 seems to voice almost every henchman. I don't know why, he just has that voice, but you will be noticing him a lot. So voice acting and acting alone is worth playing this game. It is amazing, and there is so much love poured into Kingdom Come 2. And of course there are a plethora of new characters, including Catherine, Van Berghoff, his snide Chamberlain. All of them have voices that fit their characters and really bring you into the story that's being told. So I want to give a massive shout out to all of the actors that took part in this game. They did a phenomenal job. And of course we can't talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance without talking about the music, and the music here is stellar. Jan Volta and Adam Sporka return, and Jan Volta once again brings some of the best music that I have ever heard in a video game. To give you an idea, here is a clip that I recorded in Prague. This was a live performance of one of the songs in the game, and I just want you to listen to this, and that will give you an idea of how good the music is in Kingdom Come 2. I'm not crying, you're crying. It's emotional, it's funny, it's brave, it's heroic, and the system built by Adam Sporka that makes music meld and blend in certain situations is absolutely fantastically used here. For an example, you walk out of the gates of Kutna Hora and the music swells.
Thank my humble respects.
Adventure awaits. I can't wait for the full soundtrack to be released on Spotify, and when it does, please go and listen to all of the music. I will say there is not a favourite so far, apart from the song that I just played you. They are all equally as good. We need to talk about gameplay, because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would be nothing without its gameplay. This is, of course, an RPG, so you are building your Henry. Warhorse Studios have perfectly devised a way for Henry to be able to lose some of the skills he had in Kingdom Come 1, so newcomers can learn them again and build their own Henry how they see fit. And from how you dress to how you interact with people makes a difference. It makes you feel like you're trying to get through medieval life. If you want to talk to a noble, you better not be dirty or covered in blood. They won't respect you. So you need to make sure your clothes are clean. Or if you run into bandits, you can scare them off just by yelling if you are scary enough. And it's those elements that you don't really see in other games. This attention to detail in those role-playing elements interacting with the rest of the game in a cohesive way. Enemies will notice you if you smell. If you whistle, enemies can hear you. People in town will call you a child for whistling randomly. And if you take photos with the new photo mode, people will hear you comment on the photo that you just took. You are grounded in this world, as a player and as Henry. Actions have consequences, and that's the way it should be. Recently, I posted a video on the new crime system, and instead of just being thrown in jail for a couple of days and having a bad reputation, things can go pretty south, and you can now get branded, whipped, or executed. And of course, all of those have different gameplay elements and reactions on the world. One of the most impressive ones is if you have good rapport in a town, if you accidentally run into someone, they will apologize to you. But if you have negative reputation, they will just straight tell you to piss off and watch where you're going. Another massive part of gameplay is, of course, exploration. I can now tell you that the map, or should I say, maps of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 are mind-boggling. First, you have the Bohemian Paradise map. This is where you start the game, and when you are released into the open world, it's this feeling of wonder and terror that I've never felt before. Henry has basically nothing, and you have to build your way up to buying clothes, doing alchemy, making your way in this map. Bandits are a real threat. Packs of wolves can attack at any time, and you can run into an incredible amount of random encounters that all have different outcomes and effects. The open world of Bohemian Paradise is dense. You have incredible forests that seem to span forever, tiny villages nestled in between a glade, and castles that rise into the sky. Can you explore any of these? Well, that's up to you to find out. And you're constantly learning about new things with the Codex, which makes a return. Random encounters can still happen in fast travel, which is nice. And there are now camps dotted along the roads where you can take respite. But that is nothing when you get to the Kutna Hora map, which is the second map in the game. And when I tell you that your perceptions of this world will be completely blown away is an understatement. You have, in the Bohemian Paradise map, almost the same size as Kingdom Come Deliverance to explore. So when you then get given access to an entire other map that is also around the same size, it just doesn't make sense. How were they able to fit this into the game? And we haven't even talked about Kutna Hora, because the second map isn't just Kutna Hora. No, it's a massive map that is filled with villages, people, random encounters, towns, encampments, castles, and then you take into account that it also includes Kutna Hora, which is possibly one of the most incredibly packed towns, I think, or cities that I've ever seen in a video game. There are constantly things happening. There are NPCs all over. You're never at a loss to what to do. You have infinite choices of where you can go and who you can see. It's overwhelming how amazing Kutna Hora is. And to be able to do all of that without any loading screens is honestly mind-blowing. And of course, the last part of gameplay would have to be the combat. Now, for those of you that struggled with Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, they have made the combat slightly easier in this game, and there is a very good tutorial at the start. But what I will say is that you still need to practice, because it is so important to gain those skills and learn the Master Strike, because that is one of the best moves in the entire game. So when you get access to learning that, do it. That is my biggest tip to take away from this. The combat feels weighty. Every strike makes an impact, and enemies are a lot smarter. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, if you came up with either 2 or 3 or 4 enemies surrounding you, you were pretty much buggered. But thankfully, Warhorse Studios listened, and they've now made big fights a lot easier to handle, because NPCs will actually hold back. You will have one come forward and try an attack when everyone else holds back strategically not to get themselves killed. So you can take on large packs of bandits. Sure, it's going to be tough, but it's doable if you have the right skills. Of course, we also now have the new crossbow and the boomstick, and those are okay. Personally, I love the archery in this game. I think the bow and arrow is the biggest upgrade in the combat scene, where basically it feels a damn sight better, but it still doesn't lead you with the reticule. That is completely gone still, but it just works. I think it's because they've placed the bow and arrow a little bit higher, so it's pointing at the middle of the screen, so it feels a lot more natural to use compared to KCD1. And that's been my main thing to be using, apart from swords, of course. I haven't even delved into maces. I've not even touched the glaives or the spears. And that's after 100 hours or more of gameplay. There is a absolute crap ton of items and things you can use, especially in combat. You can throw rocks on enemies' heads. You can push ladders down in sieges. It's really mind-boggling how they were able to do this. But yeah, combat is a lot better in my opinion, but also still holds true to what Kingdom Come Deliverance was. And that's very important. I think people were worried that this game was going to be dumbed down a lot, and that's not the case at all. Everything was done here for a reason. The last things I want to talk about are bugs and performance. In terms of bugs, I experienced a couple. Randomly, Pebbles, or whatever horse you would have, would stop running. It would just walk after you'd done a certain mission or did a certain activity, and you'd have to reload an earlier save to get Pebbles or the horse to be able to start running again. That seems like something that they're going to be fixing hopefully pretty soon, and it only happened to me after like 70 hours of gameplay. There is a mission later on in the game where you're ambushing someone with a friend, and you are put into the position of fighting this massive group of heavily armored men. And unfortunately, for some reason, that seems to be impossible unless you run to work with your friends to take them down, but that also seems to be random. I don't know why the difficulty spike is so big. That feels like something that definitely needs to be fixed. It's not only me that's thought of this or played this mission and has experienced that. So that's something else that was kind of an issue. There are some graphical bugs on PS5 where maybe you look left or right or up or down. Sometimes the screen will like super brighten, like the lighting is affected by your movements. That's something that I'm hoping is going to be fixed day one. But apart from that, there's nothing game-breaking here that I would say that was on the level of KCD1, because KCD1 unfortunately had quite a few quests that got bugged. I've not experienced any quests that have been completely unplayable, apart from the one that I mentioned earlier. So Warhorse has done a great job here, and that is amazing that this is the only stuff I'm talking about. And performance. Performance on PS5 is great. If you put it into the performance mode, it runs at a smooth 60 and looks gorgeous. And on PC, I am running a slight beast, so my results won't be like yours, but I'm running a 4080 Ti with a i9-14900K. It runs flawlessly on there, and I'm getting 130 frames even within Kutna Hora. This game feels a damn sight more polished in terms of performance, and honestly, going back to KCD1, I was having worse frame rates in that game than I ever have in KCD2, even in the most busy areas, and that is mad to think about. This is just so much better optimized, and I think this is going to work on low-end hardware pretty easily, because it's even now been made to be verified with the Steam Deck, so you can kind of understand that this game has legs in both low-end and high-end. So I will say all of the footage that you've been seeing has been recorded on Ultra at 1440p. I even tried the experimental mode, which is meant for future hardware, and I was still getting a solid 80 FPS. So let's just be honest, this game is extremely well optimized, and Warhorse, well done. All I want to say is thank you to Warhorse for making this phenomenal game. Play on, thank you for your support and allowing me to be able to actually buy a new PC that will allow me to make content on this for another 7 years. KCD3, everyone! And also, just a thank you to you for watching. I hope you enjoy Kingdom Come 2 when it releases tomorrow, and I can't wait to see your reactions, because I am so proud of the team and what they've done, and this is the moment we've been waiting for almost 7 years. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. But until next time, that's me, out. Bye, guys.